Are you ready to move from an ordinary life to an extraordinary one where you meet your business goals, create a life that has success in health, wealth, and for self? Then come and join us for our retreat in Byron Bay, Australia at the end of July, start of August 2025, and come and rediscover who you really are. More details can be found at willowhealing.org.
Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. Hey everyone, it's Catherine from Willow Healing, and I'm delighted to have the beautiful Hannah here with us. And she is a multi-passionate woman who truly embodies her divine feminine essence. You can find her on Instagram as wellness_with_Hannah. She has been an accredited vision therapist for almost 15 years, and of more recent times in the last 5 years has stepped into the wondrous world of wellness and development as an intuitive darkness guidance, which she was born to be part of. Every morning she takes time to ground herself and be intentful, sharing her secrets, her knowledge, and innate wisdom. This is all part of her soul work. Today we will go into a glimpse of how heart, body, mind, and soul of an intuitively guided divine woman can influence us all. Hannah leads with her heart and lives from her soul. She has been on a healing journey which has been far from linear. She faces each new obstacle in the jungle of life and with curiosity and compassion. Hannah is uber passionate and genuine in the way she expresses herself. She knows how to be wild and wonderful and be herself without any apology. Hannah has discovered how much freedom and self-confidence comes from being unapologetically herself, and by showing up as her authentic self, she also creates a space for others to do the same. Hannah is often found barefoot in nature or intuitively moving her body. Oh, I love that, Hannah. Welcome to the show.
Hello, beautiful souls. I wanted to start by saying a heartfelt thank you to Catherine for inviting me to share my heart, thoughts, and musings on the Willow Healing Matters podcast. I'm so grateful to be here today.
Yeah, I love how the universe just brought us together. So I'm going to give a little bit of this background because it's funny.
Go for it. I love that.
So Hannah and I both randomly showed up early for this event, and we couldn't actually find the location of the event. So we were upstairs waiting for this thing to start, not realizing it was in the room right under our feet. And we're both there going, surely we haven't got that wrong. And then we quickly bonded, and then we had many discussions and went to breakfast the next morning. So it was really cool.
A connection that was meant to occur, and I can already feel how meaningful this discussion will be. I have no idea where this discussion will go over the next hour, but I know that by each of us choosing to show up and speak openly, we're giving all of those who are tuning in the permission slip to do the exact same with their life, which is so damn powerful.
100%. So do you want to tell us a little bit in your own words about what you do when you work with these beautiful souls that come into your wildness?
Yeah, of course. Yes. I love that. So I'm the queen of self-care. I feel that everything starts from taking care of ourselves because it's an essential part of being an empowered and an intuitive woman. Every day I intentionally move my body like I love myself in one form or another, as movement truly is medicine, alongside connecting with our breath and with how we want to show up each day. Coming from a place of intention is truly important. I have been a vision therapist for almost 16 years, doing sensory motor therapy with a focus on the eye-brain-body connection. I work with a mixture of age groups who have a variety of visual-related learning challenges and behavioural conditions, alongside traumatic and acquired brain injuries. I also specialise in integrating retained primitive reflexes for those of both young age and older age who still have these reflexes that are holding them back from stepping into their true learning potential. One of my many purposes in this life is helping other women to help themselves heal from the inside out. which is what I have been doing over the last 10 years, while maintaining a positive body, mind, and soul to allow them to live a life full of love, joy, adventure, curiosity. I'm extremely passionate about this, as I'm sure you can hear. My other passion is being an intuitive wellness guide rather than darkness guide. However, we actually do need darkness to find the lightness within, where I, again, individually tailor in-person and virtual client sessions to those in Australia, but also a variety of international clients I have as well. You will often hear me referring to my occupations as my passions, as when we are passionate about something, we are able to make an even more meaningful impact while being heart-led and intentional.
Yeah, definitely. And I so resonated with what you said about the darkness, because I feel a lot of us actually fear the darkness, but it's when we work in that darkness that we actually find the brighter light. For me, it was finding the brighter light. You know, it's like when you, there was a proverb, I can't remember what it was, but it's like when you're in the dark all the time and you let yourself adjust to that, you see things again, right? Like things come through in the light. You can try this at home, anybody. If you get up in the middle of the night, right? But first of all, you can't see anything, and then you realize, oh, my eyes have adjusted, and it's okay now. and it's. I feel it's very resonant of what we go through when we work through those darkness, and embrace it and go, okay, this is part of me. This is what makes me me, and now I can actually shine brighter and find my passion and my purpose.
Very much so. And that is partly where Wild Wellness with Hannah, my business, came from. It's about allowing, encouraging, and witnessing the wild woman archetype inside all of us to unleash itself and roar courageously in the way that we show up in the world. And this led to the creation of my online learning portal, the Wild Woman Gateway, which is part of sharing wisdom and magic in the world, a one-of-a-kind learning portal where women can create their own journey with video and audio lessons enclosed to make a body, heart, mind and soul connection that they have been seeking, that they have been desiring for so long.
Yeah, and I think that's such an important part that, especially for women, I'm not saying we're discarding men, but you know, it's we relate to women. We are women, you know, and especially with women, we have been tamed for such a long time, and you know, there's those witch wounds and that past karma that we carry in through with us, and for so many reincarnations and you know so many lives we've been kind of told to tamper down, right? And then finally now it's like we can feel safe again and can let that wildness out and let that magic happen.
And our too muchness is so beautiful, whether we're too loud or too bright or too bold or too willing. There is so much beauty in unlocking our too muchness as well.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, why not be too much of something, you know? And if someone doesn't resonate with that, then you might trigger their own darkness that they need to have a look into and see what's going on with that.
Yes, which can be a journey on its own. It may feel like walking through fires or being on a roller coaster ride, but there's so much beauty and wisdom that comes from experiencing those journeys too.
Yeah, exactly. So if a person wants to come and work with your Wild Wellness, Hannah, what would a session look like?
That is such a whirlwind of a question in itself, because each session looks different depending on the person I'm working with. And being an intuitive wellness guide, I am intuitively guided myself. However, the client actually intuitively guides where each session may lead to. It might involve breathwork techniques. It might involve rage practices. It might involve crying. It might involve screaming and yelling loudly, or calmly connecting to the breath and the body, and then finding what needs to be unleashed in that certain session.
I fully understand that, because I always tell my clients, let's just go for the journey and see what comes up.
Yes, very, very much so. So it's still a guided, each session is guided in one form or another. Intuition is the key factor in where each session will go.
Yeah, and I feel intuition is something that's been, it keeps coming up on everyone's radar, but I feel it's not talked about enough, and what actually it is, and honoring it. So for me, intuition is just this inner knowing and being able to trust yourself and the guidance that comes from within. I'm not sure how you feel about that definition.
Yes, very much so. And I thought I might turn the table a little bit and start with my word of the year, which will beautifully flow into intuition. The theme that is guiding my journey for this year is ignite. This word is my intention for 2025. It's a spark of energy and inspiration that I will carry throughout the year, and it will carry me throughout the year. Earlier today, I published the very first Ignite-themed blog post on the Wild Wellness blog. And when I reflect on what Ignite means to me, one idea keeps coming up: the importance of intuitive connection and slowing down. In a world that moves so fast, where notifications are buzzing and beeping, emails are landing in our inbox on demand, and our attention seems to be pulled in every direction, slowing down feels like an almost radical act. Yet it is so essential.
Yeah.
Slowing down is all about creating space to connect with yourself, with others, and with the deeper rhythms of life, while flowing from a place of grace, love, and compassion. This is where intuitive connection comes in.
Yeah, beautiful.
At its core, intuitive connection is all about listening to that inner voice, the quiet knowing that guides you toward everything that feels aligned or right and meaningful to you. It's about reconnecting to the part of yourself that knows what you need, even when the world feels noisy and overwhelming.
Yeah. I often describe it as, it's like you feel like you're standing in the middle of a tornado, in the eye of the storm, because it's calm and everything around you is just moving and chaos and everything, but you're just there in your bubble in the middle going, okay, I'm not going to touch that. That's not for me. I'm just going to slow down and tap back in and double check, is that aligned or not aligned, because it's not feeling aligned right now.
Beautiful, beautiful way to describe it. And I remember a similar moment not so long ago when I felt like I was stuck in a whirlwind and was unsure which way was up. I was rushing from one thing to the next, trying to keep up with everything that was on my plate. I will admit my plate was a little bit overloaded. My energy was drained, my mind a little scattered, and I will admit I felt disconnected from myself. Then one evening I decided to pause. I lit a candle, sat down in complete silence, and just breathed, and also cried. It was a big yet much needed emotional release. At first, my mind was racing with all the things I should be doing or could be doing. As I stayed with my breath, something shifted. I began to hear the quiet voice within, the one that told me that it was okay to rest, that I was allowed to slow down, to let go of all of the pressure and expectations. Rather than just being a moment of slowing down and taking a pause, it was a reconnection to my intuition. It took me in. A reminder that when we create space to listen, our intuition always has a way of showing us exactly what we desire and deserve and what we need in any given moment.
I got goosebumps when you were saying that, because even for me yesterday morning, so every morning when I get up, I connect to God and I ask, how can I serve today? Just so I have one big thing I'm working towards that day. And yesterday I got told it's time to rest. You need to rest today. So it was really powerful and reaffirming, because I often will push myself too hard. Like you were saying, we overfill our plates, and then your car breaks down or your body breaks down or, all these things happen to say you need to rest. And I feel we don't often give ourselves that grace. And I know, being a mum, I often will feel that like a bit of mum guilt comes through, because it's like, oh no, but maybe I should be doing this. But if we don't look after ourselves, then we can't look after those around us, because our cup isn't full and overflowing, and then they're not going to benefit from us either, especially if we're broken and can't move or stuck in your car because it broke down.
And I think, actually, I believe and I know that there is a reason that we feel, breathe, think, and move the way that we do as a human collective. And slowing down is such a beautiful invitation to connect with our intuition. It isn't always easy. Sometimes it's really wobbly, and sometimes it's more fluid and flowy. It requires intention and a willingness to step away from the constant doing that our culture often celebrates. When we embrace the power of being rather than doing, we open ourselves up to deeper clarity, creativity, love, peace, connection, collaboration. The list goes on.
Yeah, exactly. And, we were just open, meeting at this place, and look at us collaborating right now. So, this is the universe putting each other in these paths, right? And the reason we connect with people. And, I often say the universe will leave you breadcrumbs. You just have to open your eyes and look for them.
Very much so. And intuition is about that willingness to open our eyes, to open our hearts, to open our thoughts. And there's something that I could share here, and our intuition is always speaking to you. I mean, always. My intuition might sound different to Catherine's intuition and might sound totally different to your intuition. It's the pull that we feel towards something that lights us up. It's the sense of unease when something doesn't align with you or your values. It's the way your body reacts to certain people, places, or decisions. When we're rushing through life, we often miss these subtle signals. When we slow down, when we breathe deeply, and when we listen, and I mean truly listen, we begin to recognize the innate wisdom that has been within us all along.
So true. So true. And especially, there's a Fia song. I don't know if you've ever heard Fia, but there's this lyrics, and they always pop into my head, and there's a waterfall of wisdom at our fingertips. All you need to do is let it in. And it's they're so powerful. Those lyrics often pop in my head when I'm wondering how to solve something. It's like, well, you have it all within you. You just have to learn how to tap in and listen to it.
And if we think about it, how often do we look outside ourselves for answers? I know I sure have.
Yeah.
How often do we turn to others for validation, for guidance, or for permission? There are still moments where I still do. That is part of being human. It's part of this human experience. while connecting with others is vital, there is something so empowering about turning inward, about trusting your own knowing, your own intuition.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. It's funny because I have a client and I frequently tell her she'll call me to ask for advice, and I'll actually say, you already know the answer. You know, you need to actually check in with yourself. You know the answer to this question. And then she'll tell me exactly what she's thinking. And I'm like, yes, trust that and go with it. Because often we will want that external validation. And I know this is something I've personally worked through. We want that validation that, you know, someone sees us for who we are, when really the main thing that counts is what we think of ourselves and that we believe in ourselves.
And this might be a bit blunt to some, but the outside views and thoughts are totally warped, and there's a reason we are so unique and each have our own way of seeing things and thinking about things and even saying and speaking things out into the world as well. Intuitive connection, it's not about shutting out the world. It's actually about finding balance with your internal world and the external world. It's about honoring your inner wisdom while staying open to the perspectives and experiences of others. It's about attunement, or tuning into your body, your emotions, your heart and your soul, and allowing that connection to guide you to what feels true and right for you, no one else but you. Allowing and trusting that the inner compass, or your intuition, is gracefully guiding you in the direction that is meant for you.
100%. And, you know, when we flow with the universe and we have that confidence in ourselves that we can trust our intuition, even when there's detours or blocks or something that comes up along our way, it makes it so much easier to give gratitude to that and say, thank you, there must be another way. You know, or thank you for this detour. I'm going to go on a different path. Or, you know, it's about finding the gratitude in those moments so that you can move through with grace and ease rather than, why am I suffering? And go into that victim mindset.
Gratitude is something that I'm sure you and I could both talk on a totally different conversation, as we'd be here for hours and hours if we opened that beautiful can as well.
Attitude of gratitude, people. Attitude of gratitude.
Yes, gracing yourself with gratitude each and every day.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
And some of those who are tuning in with us right now, but also will tune in the future, you might be wondering how you can start building a deeper connection with your intuition. I thought it would be potent for me to share just a few of the practices that have been extremely transformative for me.
Beautiful, Hannah. Go for it. Go for it.
Breath work. Your breath is a direct pathway to presence. By taking a few moments each day to focus on slow, intentional, deep breathing, it's amazing how much clarity can come from simply being with your breath. Something that is conscious and unconscious. But when we can consciously breathe, this is where true connection and clarity comes from. Journaling. I have been an avid journaler for, I'm probably going to say, close to 16, maybe 17 years now.
Well done.
Choosing to write free from judgment or structure. Simply place your pen on the page and allow your thoughts to flow freely, and notice any insights that emerge. Spending time in nature. As Catherine shared, I'm often found barefoot in nature. Nature has a beautiful way of grounding us and reminding us of the bigger picture. You might go on a walk in the park or be sitting by the ocean watching the waves come in and out. Let the natural world reconnect you to your internal rhythms and cycles. Body awareness is also a big part of intuitive connection. Pay attention to the sensations in your body. Your body often knows what your mind is yet to realize. A lot of us are unaware of these sensations, and sometimes it takes a bit of a jolt to realize, oh, okay, that's what my body is actually telling me. And intentionally creating space for silence is really, really important. Turning off the noise, literally and figuratively. Spend time in silence each day, even if it's just a few moments. I hope that these practices, these rituals, these traditions, whatever you may choose to call them, are supportive in allowing you to connect more deeply with your intuition.
Yeah, and I really resonate when you're talking about connecting with your body, because that's something I definitely share with my clients and remind myself when something in our body isn't working right. It's good to always check in, and Google's really can be our friend because all you have to do is type spiritual meaning of ankle pain or spiritual meaning of sore right shoulder, and it will tell you the underlying emotions or things that are triggering that body pain. And our body is so clever. Our body has so much wisdom, and we've just neglected it. And often we will choose to numb it and take painkillers or, put on numbing creams or whatever it might be, rather than actually listening to our body and listening to the intuition that it has.
And I'm someone that, actually, no, I don't have I want to say I don't have a Western first aid kit in my cupboard or house.
Neither.
I have my essential oils on hand, and I have a lot of natural cleaning products and products from our own nature that we're surrounded by that can support us and help us. And I want to say fix isn't the right word, not that there is a right word, but
to assist our body in healing.
To assist our body in healing, exactly right. Yes, yes. Yeah, because our body knows exactly what it needs in any given moment.
I know, and Mother Nature has given us so much medicine that we've kind of forgotten about. Even my favorite that I learnt about last year was cayenne pepper. Like if you're bleeding, even in bleeding out, you throw cayenne pepper on, and yes, it's going to sting, but for the 10 seconds it stings, that's how long it takes for the blood to actually clot. And it's just this magic thing you can just have in your cupboard. And if you have a big gash, you just throw in cayenne pepper on, which seems crazy, but as long as you're not allergic, people. But apart from that, it's just magic.
Of course, and it's as crazy as it may seem, a couple of months ago, I'm so glad I got my hands on another copy of Ancient Remedies Revived, which is unfortunately getting taken off bookshelves very soon because of all of the natural healing and remedies that it offers.
Yeah, which we're planting seeds here, people. Start questioning why that is happening. And another favorite remedy I have is cloves. So for anyone that actually has tooth pain or their gums are hurting, you can actually get a bud of clove and dried clove and just chew on it. And it's a little bit of spice goes in there, but it will clear up infections in your mouth, and it helps ease tooth pain, especially if you've had work done at the dentist and things like that too.
And holistic dentists are so beautiful in the way that they take care of us without having to put in fillings and a variety of other things that are helpful to some extent, especially for a short period of time, but the effect that this can have on the body. And as you said, the body always remembers. And a book that I have read again and again, The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk, is a big eye and body opener as well.
Yeah, and I know personally because I had amalgam fillings and I had to, but I really was pulled to have them all removed and had to do it. Well, I chose to do it through a holistic dentist, so it was a process. But when I actually had the fillings get pulled out, the old ones with mercury, my body actually started vibrating at a higher frequency. Like it was actually dumbing it down. And I was having this profound experience in the dental chair, my mouth numbed and these guards in, and I was like, thank you for validating this process of going through this because I hate going to the dentist. Sorry.
Oh, of course.
But it was, at the time, that was what was done, even though there might have been other options and things, people weren't aware. So I guess that's where you learn to educate yourself and trust your intuition, because that's what I did. I was like, I need to get it out. I need to get them out. And, and trusting that and seeing how that flows through rather than, just saying yes to something. The most powerful thing sometimes we can do is saying no to something that doesn't feel right, even if we don't understand why at the time.
Yes, and often within a reasonably short period of time, the reason we said no will soon come through as a yes or a hell yes to pull us in a different direction as well.
Yeah, 100%. And, it's when we can learn to stand our ground and be courageous and tap into that wild woman and know that, this intuition's coming up for a reason, that's when you can reclaim your power and truly understand that, hey, my body actually knows better than this, or my intuition knows better than this, and I'm going to listen to that and honor that and be stronger for that.
Strength definitely comes from the courage that we all hold within. And as I am embracing Ignite as my word that will guide me through this year and far into the future, I feel called to ignite an even deeper relationship with my intuition. I will continue to honour the stillness as much as the spark, the moments of reflection as much as the moments of action and passion as well, and having this beautiful balance between the doing and the being, and having it, allowing the dance between our feminine and masculine energy. No matter which gender we are, we all have masculine and feminine energies. Feminine is all about flow and grace, and masculine is all about doing and seeking and completing, and allowing these energies to dance between one another creates so much more flow and beauty in this thing called life as well.
Yeah, and that's about embracing the polarity that makes us human, right? There's always both sides of every coin. There's always light and darkness. There's masculine and feminine. It's when we find that balance in the middle that we get that peace and that neutrality, and then we can make those decisions that are really aligned to us.
Yes, yeah, very much so. And this is probably a good place to, when I originally joined the podcast, you asked a question about what I... yes. Could you phrase
if you could heal something in the world, what would it be? There's one thing you could heal or change. Yeah.
Thank you. So I find myself thinking about compassion, something I speak often about with family, clients, and my soul family. If I could create one change in the world, it would be for every person to deeply understand and embody compassion. Yeah. And this starts with self-compassion. Yeah. When we slow down and listen to ourselves, we create space for self-compassion to grow. We start to treat ourselves with the kindness and understanding we so often extend to others. From this place of compassion, we are able to connect more deeply, love more fully, and ignite meaningful change in our lives and around the whole world.
Yeah. And that's definitely something that I think we forget is to be compassionate to ourselves, because we're so good at holding space for other people. Especially, I speak for myself definitely here, where I will give and give and give and give, and I forget about myself completely.
That was me.
Yeah.
Definitely 12 years ago. All of my energy was outsourced, where now if my cup isn't full, it's a no, or I don't have time to do that until I take time for myself and take care of myself and love myself. So I am really intentional on a daily basis with how I've moved my body, how I've connected with my breath, how I've connected with my intention for that day, with my thoughts, how I'm feeling before I step out the door.
Yeah. And that's exactly the transition journey I'm in, realizing if I don't look after me and fill up my cup, then it makes it really hard to do what we do.
Of course, it's a challenging step, but a beautiful step, and we're all supported in this journey as well. And we all have the chance to reflect on our own connection to intuition and stillness, about how we create space to listen to our inner voice and what practices we might choose to help us slow down and reconnect with ourselves as well.
That is such a beautiful summary, Hannah. I really thank you. Beautiful.
I'm so glad that I could do that so succinctly, because it doesn't always happen that way, and that is totally okay as well. I might choose to, if I can, invite the readers to have a look at the Wild Wellness blog on my website, which I know Catherine will include in their session summary, to allow them to read the first Ignite themed post, but also lean into all of the other topics that are wide and far but very close to my heart as well. It's the beginning of a series that explores themes like intuitive connection, emotional intelligence, and the beauty of slowing down, and all the other topics that are hot on my heart as well.
Yeah, beautiful. I will definitely, so if anyone wants to look up Hannah, I will definitely put in the show notes her link to her Instagram, her beautiful blog, as well as her online learning portal if anyone wants to adventure and have a look at that. And thank you so much, Hannah, for being on the show today and having this beautiful conversation with me. I'm glad one of the guests went into intuition, because we always skim around it, but it really needed to be nutted out.
Thank you for being present within this space today. I'm so grateful for this community and the opportunity to share these reflections with you. We all hold the power to ignite our own journey, to honour our intuition, and to create a life filled with purpose and connection. And of course, moments of stillness and reflection. Before we finish and I let Catherine wrap up, I invite you to place your hands on your heart, to close your eyes and take 5 deep breaths, breathing in through your nose, holding and breathing out through your mouth, breathing in again and breathing out. 3 more breaths to go. You're doing so beautifully. Breathing in and breathing out. Another breath in, holding and breathing out. And on this final breath, I invite you on the exhale to sigh out. Make it audible. Breathing in and letting go, being gentle with yourself as you let your light shine even brighter than it ever has before.
Thank you, Hannah. If anyone was driving, please don't close your eyes when doing that.
Yeah, I did forget to put that part in there at the start.
Hopefully you used your common sense and your intuition and knew not to do that. Well, thank you, Hannah. It was so beautiful having you. And if anyone wants to check out Hannah, like I said, I'll put it all in the show notes. And thank you so much for listening.
Bye, beautiful souls.
Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.